The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin, Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I'm here today with my co-host, Blake Pollino with BP Media Group.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much again for listening. This week on the show, we have friend of the podcast, Nolan Smith with ONCOR, here to talk about what ONCOR is. You've probably paid an electric bill in your lifetime and wondered what ONCOR is and what they do. They are an amazing company and they do so much for us here in East Texas. So let's get into that now. All right.
We are here joined today by one of my favorite people, Nolan Smith with ONCOR. Thanks for coming, Nolan.
Thanks, glad to be here.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us, where'd you grow up, how'd you get here, and then you've been with ONCOR for a while, so kind of tell us your background history.
Yeah, so I grew up here about 30 miles east of here. I started with ONCOR in 1993. I'm going on my 29th year with ONCOR. Very blessed to work for a company that gives you opportunities and supports you and your family as you promote through the company.
That's great.
Started, long story short, with my 29 years of experience, started right here in Lufkin in 1993 as a temporary employee. I was the guy running around the backyards, reading your meter, punching it in before we had automation. So a couple of years later, an opportunity came about to move into the line worker position, which that's the big trucks that goes around the community, restores the power, and get your lights back on. Okay. So I rolled into that role. A couple years later, I went into a first responder role. That's the smaller bucket trucks that usually single riders that are the first, if you call in the lights out, then they'll come and investigate if they can fix it or if they need to get more help for it. Mm-hmm. Started promoting up through the company in 2012, 13. Went to Palestine as a crew supervisor. My company relocated me and my family there. Don't ask my wife about that because she wasn't too excited leaving home for us and go to Palestine. I worked there for about a year and a half. Accepted an operations supervisor job in Jacksonville, Texas. My family was ecstatic. We got to come home. I commuted that drive.
Oh, wow. Every day?
Every day. So it's about 45 minutes from where we lived. We bought something on that end of town. But they was super excited. Kids got to get back enrolled in school here with their friends and made my life better with my family, I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
When mama's happy, everybody's happy.
When mama's happy, everybody is happy. After that, I accepted a assistant manager position in Waco, Texas. I was there for a year. That's when the hard life began. I lived in an RV during the week. Drove home on the weekends when it didn't storm. My family would commute up there if I wasn't able to come home. So it made life very difficult. Fortunately, God and our company blessed me with the position to come back home in 2018. So I accepted the distribution manager position here in Lufkin, Texas, which is over the line workers and the first responders in Lufkin, Nacogdoches, and the surrounding communities. Did that for about 2.5 years, 3 years, and then I was blessed once again with my dream job, is my current role now. So currently the area manager / customer service executive for ONCOR Electric. Basically, to sum that up in one word is I'm supposed to be the face of ONCOR, right? My job is to have strategic relationships with leaders of the community. I work closely with the elected officials, whether it's council members, judges, commissioners, our state representatives, Clardy and Ashby, and our Senator Nichols. Work with our district directors on a weekly or monthly basis if something arises. But finally found my spot in the company. I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm home. I plan on retiring. I was going to retire a lot earlier. Now I'm probably going to retire. I probably have about 20 more years, and I'll retire. So
I love the fact that you've held so many different positions in the company, and so no matter who you're talking with as an employee of ONCOR, you understand what they're going through. I think that makes you probably so much more relatable than somebody who just started and then moved way up.
Yeah, that's correct. I've enjoyed it and loved the opportunities that was there. I've worked in about every department that it is, so I can answer most questions, not a lot. If I can't answer the questions, then of course I can find the answer out for you. So,
Well, we love getting to
Very
work
cool.
with you at the Chamber. Nolan is one of our best volunteers.
Yep.
And we can always count on you, so we love that.
So
Thanks.
appreciate you having us down. I was in Leadership Lufkin this last class. They had us down in Austin and got to see your base of operations there. That was really cool. Amazing view. One of the better views in
it's
Austin, I think,
beautiful.
that anybody else has right there on the Capitol Square. It was amazing. But so for people who aren't familiar with ONCOR, we've probably all heard the name. If you pay an electric bill in East Texas, you've heard of it. Tell us what ONCOR is.
Yeah, so we're in a deregulated world, and what that means is you have the power to choose your electricity, right? Whoever provider you want to choose from, you can choose. Still a little miscommunication after 20 years. We still get questions, we buy our electricity from ONCOR. That's not the case. ONCOR is a poles and wires company only. We don't sell it and we don't generate it. To kind of give you an example how that works is, I'll use FedEx as an example. You can go on Amazon and buy a package from millions of vendors, right? And once you order it, FedEx is going to bring it to your doorstep. They're a delivery company. So you can go to powertochoose.com, you can pick your provider, and then ONCOR is going to deliver that electricity to your doorstep. Our company is one of the largest in the state of Texas for transmission and distribution facilities. We currently serve 98 counties in over 400 communities.
Wow.
We have 4,500 employees. We also have over 141,000 miles of distribution and transmission lines. To kind of put that in perspective, if you took those lines, you tied them all end to end, and you just took off walking, you could walk around the earth more than 5.5 times.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
it's very amazing. You
Yeah.
don't think about it until you actually think about it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but
It's such a
Wow.
complex system. You know, people think about these. People joke about these like post-apocalyptic scenarios and stuff like that, and having to start over again. And I could just never imagine. I can't fathom having to rebuild these complicated systems that are already out there. I mean, it's incredible how complicated our electrical grid is. Like where we get power from and how they are able to move electricity around. It's amazing.
It's an amazing task, and a lot of engineering is involved. It's a complicated, but it's fun. That's what makes the job fun.
Absolutely.
You know,
Well, y'all do so much, and you've got capital improvement commitments. Let's talk about those. What are things that you focus on?
Yeah, so very excited. We announced our capital improvement commitments for this year about a month ago, I think. We've always made important investments for our transmission and distribution facilities to support reliability and growth. Very excited to announce that over the next 5 years, we plan to invest $3 billion a year, totaling around $19 billion. And what that money will be used for is for vegetation management, of course, in East Texas, rebuilding infrastructure, upgrades to our facility, which all supports our goal of delivering safe and reliable electricity. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's very amazing. It's probably our highest ever, and we're super excited to give that back to our customers to help out with restoring power and keeping their power on. So.
Very cool. So let's talk about this winter storm that we've had. So this, I'm assuming, connects to these capital improvements that you guys have had. Talk a little bit about that. So are these improvements to the grid? Is that kind of what you're working on there?
Yeah, so the ERCOT, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, they monitor the grid. We follow their guidance and direction only, and anything they tell us, then we're going to communicate that to our customers. So after Uri, the legislature passed a bill that sent it to the Public Utility Commission that they adopted called the Weatherization Rule, which was intended for certain utilities. We're in fully compliant of that rule, have stayed in compliant of the Federal Weatherization Rule to date. As far as storms go and Uri, and we've all learned a lot from Uri, right? That's probably, I think, will go down in history, or is in history, especially for our industry as the most impacted, because it was statewide. It just wasn't in Lufkin, Nacogdoches. It was statewide, impacted the entire grid. But as far as just your regular storms, we have preparations in place for those beginning before they even hit. Whether that's a lightning storm, we monitor the weather right. If it's a hurricane, We're planning for hurricanes year round. We're in hurricane season right now.
Yeah.
Knock on wood that
Yeah.
we're good in East Texas. It's always a concern for our company, for the Lufkin Nacogdoches area that will
Those
be
good
in.
old pine trees.
Good old pine trees coming out of the Gulf. It's never good for it to hit us. But we implement things before it even takes place. So we're not proactive. We're reactive with that. We have mock storms every quarter. Blue sky days. We'll at like a hurricane hitter system, right? And we'll go over, make sure all of our policies and procedures, and we have enough supplies. We're inspecting our lines daily, our infrastructure daily, if there's any hanging limbs before those storms hit. So,
Right. So when we were in Austin, you all had a whole team that was visiting with our Leadership Lufkin group, and y'all were talking about how close we were to the whole grid being shut down.
Yeah.
Those were some really cool statistics. Can you share those?
Yes, I will. So just as Tara mentioned in Austin, so we have lobbyists in Austin. We have we have an office right across from the Capitol, which is very important for our industry. Our lobbyists, we had, I think, somewhere between 600 or 800 bills that would impact the electrical industry this year that they was trying to pass. So they're there fighting for our customers, fighting for our company to make sure everything is done correctly. Back to your point, the Uri. So when Uri hit, of course it was statewide. Like we said, it didn't impact one person. So we were less than 5 minutes from a state blackout or shutdown.
That just is crazy to me.
Yeah. If you think about it, I might have told them this in the meeting. It's kind of like I picture it. You can't picture it, but you try to. But like Armageddon, right?
Yeah.
Where it's just everything's completely shut down, and what do you do? We've never been that close before, and we're planning to never be that close again.
That's right.
Because of the ERCOT and the things they've implemented and done to our grid.
That's great.
But it's an interesting fact. We're sitting there watching our clocks and have no control over it. So it's a pretty trying times, pretty stressful times for our company.
Well, but you think about now how far you've come just in that short period of time and the improvements that are being done. So
That's
that
right.
we don't face those challenges again.
Yeah. No. And I would say too on that on the talking about Uri and storm, since we're talking about that, the men and women that work after hours, I can tell you that they're heroes.
That's right.
I can't even put into words how much they mean to me, and how much our company supports that. Yeah. They work 24 hours a day. If your lights are out, just know that someone's out there working. It might not be at Blake's or Tara's house, but they're out working, trying to restore power. So if you see them at a restaurant, right, at 8 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock in the morning, thank them. That's their last meal. Before they go home, they're going to get 4 hours sleep. They're coming back to work another 20-hour shift. Right. So they're very dedicated to restoring power and to our customers safely. And I can't commend them enough for what they do, working the shifts they work, missing birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. We've missed it all, and they're dedicated to keep the lights on.
During the storm, our house was the only house on our entire street that never lost power.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
We appreciate it. We have a huge transformer that's in our back that powers a lot of the churches that have been shelters over the years.
Sure.
And so if we do lose power, we're fairly quick to get it back on. But those guys, it's cold. Those guys were out there. And I was making coffee as fast as I could make it, taking thermoses out there.
Sure.
I was like, can I make you cookies? Can I make you sandwiches? They were just the nicest guys that were out there working.
It's trying times for us during those times. Those men and women worked during, I'll use Uri because we always use it, right?
Yeah.
But they would work, and we were out power for a week, or 2 weeks at times. They would go home. They didn't have power. So we don't get our power on first, so they go home dirty, we have stories of people heating it up on a gas stove so they can take a bath, and they're getting back up, still dirty, still committed to go back out to restore the power. And we understand the frustrations, though. We do as a company, and our hearts with our customers. Sure. But just we're doing everything we can in a timely manner to restore the power safely. Yeah. And we're working 24 hours a day. So.
Well, we appreciate y'all so much.
Yeah, we do, because it's a difficult time. I remember when Uri happened, we're in a really fortunate spot where we are, where we tend to very, very rarely lose power. and we had power. Everybody around us, our little neighborhood had kept it going, and so people were at our houses staying there, and I was just fully expecting that we were going to lose it, at any given point, and then finally we did. We lost power, and I was like, oh man. So we have camping gear. We had just moved, and we had camping gear in our storage facility with, like little gas heaters and stoves and all that. So like, we're going to go there, and of course it was in the back of the storage thing. I had to climb up and over, and it's freezing cold. This is during this snowstorm. I'm crawling back. I had climbed up and over because it was easier than pulling everything out. I mean, this was almost entire house full of stuff. I climbed back. I'm in this little hole between boxes. I had just found the thing I needed, and my wife texts me, the power's back on. As I had just got through all of that. So you guys
bringing it home anyway.
Yeah, I did actually.
Pretend.
I brought it home just in case something like that was going to happen again. But they do such an awesome job.
They do.
Going out there
I cannot
and doing all
commend
that.
them enough. I tell you, it's truly a blessing to work for a company, and not only the company, but to work with the employees, because you're family, right?
That's right.
You spend more time with them. It's always a saying than you do with your own family, and you do. I mean, again, they've missed everything under the sun with their family to restore power to our customers. So, yeah.
Well, we know that y'all are very involved in communities. What are some of the things that y'all are committed to with communities?
Yeah, so we've been long-term supporters of the American Heart Association, the United Way, of course, and Arbor Day Foundation. We support all of our chambers here.
We appreciate it.
Yes, we love doing that. I love doing that. Here I have Lufkin and Nacogdoches. I love both chambers, love to support them. We support several nonprofits in the area and all of our communities. Can't name them all, but I name a couple is Habitat for Humanity, the Boys and Girls Club of East Texas, the Salvation Army, the East Texas Food Bank. We love the concert. That's such a good way of UBank to give back to our communities. We've also aired several small cartoons on PBS to teach kids and the public about electrical safety.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
That's even at a playground or at a park or at a school. We have the green boxes everywhere, and no, we can't change the color of those green boxes. We would love to, but just to teach them to stay off of them.
Sure.
And a lot of people doesn't think too. We live in our whole company has lines, of course, that has lakes involved in rivers. We're fortunate to live in the best part of it, I think. Lake San Barbara and our rivers are the most beautiful things you've ever seen across the state. People don't realize that until they come here.
Sure.
But we do have lines crossing those lakes. So not only on safety while you're at a park or at a school or going down the road, just be mindful while you're out fishing or boating. There is poles in the water. There's lines crossing the water. So it's very informative for the kids and for the adults also. We also on oncor.com, a school, an ISD can sign up, or a corporation, whoever, and we'll come out and put on an arcing demo for that school or the company to teach them about electrical safety. And it actually shows a live arc that we have trained professionals to complete. And we do that across the state.
Cool.
So you just have to go online to sign up for it, though, at oncor.com.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if you run into a situation where your power's out and we need to report an outage, how do you do that?
Yeah, so there's several ways to report that. Two of the easiest ways, in my opinion, is to receive the text message and alerts. You text REG to 66267. That'll sign you up for the text message and alerts. The number one easiest way, most people today have a smartphone, is to download the My ONCOR app. That literally takes you longer to download the app than to sign up to receive outage notifications. Basically, open the app up, 2 clicks, and you report your outage. You can report a streetlight outage. You can even monitor an interactive map that shows if like Tara Lights was the only ones out, she can look on there and see that no one else has reported it, and she knows to report her lights out. So definitely do the My ONCOR app if that's available. That's what we're pushing right now. It's super simple, super easy. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We're posting daily, several times a day during the storm. Expecting some impact Saturday, so I'm sure we'll be blowing social media up. And if you're out of power and you can't charge your cell phone, then you can always call in at 888-313-4747.
Awesome.
So,
Or if you have Nolan in your phone.
or if you have Nolan in your phone, we won't give that cell
Nolan.
number out.
Yeah,
to
you can give that one out on the podcast.
Nolan.
But,
That's awesome.
No, but I can't tell you how many times that Nolan has texted me and said, checking on you if you got power. And I appreciate that very, very much. And very much consider you a dear friend. And so thank you for always checking on us.
And same here, and that's what we're here for. And
Appreciate that.
And hope that ONCOR can continue to deliver the quality of service we deliver. And again, I've said it twice, I'm going to say it again, thank the men and women out working.
That's right.
They work extremely hard, and they are the nuts and bolts of our company.
Yeah.
They're what keep us together. So.
Absolutely.
So there's a new program that's out that y'all talked about recently about being able to help with lighting for companies. Is that correct?
That is correct. So I'm glad you brought that up.
I just thought I thought maybe that's something we could talk about really quick.
Yeah, so we have billboards across town right now, 59 and 69. A couple of them might be kind of hard to read, but basically what that states is right now, we've always had a plan for large industries, right, to upgrade LED, HVAC, lighting, where ONCOR will take over some of those charges for you. And we recently started for non-metro communities like Lufkin out of Dallas and Fort Worth, the non-metro communities for small businesses like the chamber or a doctor's office or something small. We'll come in and assess it, and then we can offset some costs for your HVAC or your LED lighting. Just an example, we did I think it was a Salvation Army in Taylor, Texas. Their estimate came back at $80,000, and we ended up paying right at $60,000 of that for them.
Oh, wow.
So they got a revamp of everything. So it's cool. People doesn't know. That's why we're trying to get it out. So I'm glad the podcast is here. So maybe we'll get some action on that.
Cool.
But
and where do they go to find out more information on that?
Takealoadofftexas.com.
Okay.
It's a super easy drop-down box to fill out. It takes less than 5 minutes.
Cool.
And then a representative from our company will contact you, and then they'll start going through the process with you.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, check that out if you have a small business, and a lot of our listenership does. And if that's something you're interested in, we'll have everybody check that out.
Yeah, check it out. We're here. We need the business, so we want to help and
Cool.
and take a load off Texas, right,
That's
with
right.
LED lighting and better efficient HVAC systems.
That's
So,
great.
Well, thank you, Nolan, and thank you, ONCOR, for all that you do for our community.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on the show. And I want to thank you so much again for listening this week. We really appreciate your support. If you'll do us a favor and share this podcast with somebody, just let somebody that you know who might listen to podcasts or maybe not listen to podcasts. If you think they'll be interested in the kind of stories that we tell every week, share that with them, and it help grow the podcast and let more people listen to it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again next week.